Hi everyone, Holly from Safe for Kids here. What I thought I'd do today is I'd like to share with you one of my favourite lessons to do with children. One of the things we talk to children about is something called their early warning signs. Our early warning signs is our body's way of telling us that we feel unsafe. And there's lots of ways of doing this with children to get them to experience it, like bursting balloons or playing the game Operation and things like that, making popcorn, pop-up toasters, anything that's going to give the children a physical reaction. But my favourite all-time lesson to do with them is I show them a movie of Mr. Bean. Now, what I've done, you may have already seen the movie. It's Mr. Bean at a public swimming pool where he looks up and he gets all excited. So the way that I use it with the children is I never ever show a movie all the way through. So this movie goes for about 6 minutes, but what happens is first of all, Mr. Bean comes out of the change room and he goes on a children's slide. So I stop the video and I talk to the children about, is that safe or is that unsafe? And we brainstorm what could happen if he, did go down the slide, he might land on a child, or one kid said he might split the slide with his bum being too fat and things like that, but you get lots of great comments. And then I start the movie again and he walks backwards and he bumps into a rail and he puts his hand on his heart. So we talk about, why do you think he's put his hand on his heart? Obviously because his heart's racing, and was that safe walking backwards? And then I start the movie again and it shows him running along the swimming pool. So then I would stop it and we'd talk about, is that safe or unsafe to be running along a swimming pool? But then when I started again, he goes past a small diving board, Then he goes past the middle side diving board and he climbs up to the top of the biggest diving board. And it's hilarious because you could talk to the kids about, who would risk on purpose and go off the little one, and who would risk on purpose and go off the middle-sized one. And when he walks to the edge of the big 10-metre high board, he's very confident. So he's strolling along, he looks down and he goes to pieces. And so, especially for children that are on the autistic spectrum, trying to get them to understand early warning signs can be quite difficult because many of them are a little adrenaline junkies, so they risk on purpose all the time. But with this movie, what can happen is, the kids get to physically see his early warning signs. So he goes to pieces when he looks down, and then he gets down on his hands and knees and he peers over the edge. And then what happens is, as he's standing up, so his eyes are like saucers, so again you can see all his early warning signs, but as he's standing up, two young boys come up the ladder. And so I stop it there and I talk to the young people about, bravado and peer pressure, and Mr. Bean's listening to his head. His body's telling him he feels unsafe, but he doesn't listen to his body. He's listening to his head, which is saying, hold on, they're only kids and I'm an adult, I have to do this. So you can really tease this out depending on the age of the children, and even teenagers love this, to be honest. But with them you can go deeper into, peer pressure, and just because your friends want you to do something, don't listen to your friends. Your body is saying don't do it, then don't do it. All animals have early warning signs. Humans are the only ones that don't always listen to them. But the beauty with this video is there are so many teachable moments. So teachable points about it. And so he actually gets down on his hands and knees and he crawls to the edge of the board and he climbs off, and then he's holding on by his fingertips. And then one of the children come over and tread on his hands. He goes into the pool and his bathers come off. And then a gorgeous little girl in a bathing suit comes along with a snorkel, scoops up his bathers and walks off with them. So the kids absolutely love this because you can imagine how much hysterics is going on. Because what happens next is the pool guard goes, right, everybody out of the pool. So then he swims to the middle of the pool and he ducks down and eventually he has to climb out of the pool. Now I'm going to put the link probably above, maybe below, you'll find it, where I've actually taken the Mr. Bean clip and I've actually cut it, because the whole movie shows him getting out of the pool and running around naked and then frightening some girls because he's naked and things. But this is the ideal opportunity that I find to talk to children about pornography. So just as he's about to climb out the pool, I stop the movie and I explain to children that it's gone from being a public movie to being a private movie. So I'd say to the children, so where can kids see private pictures or private movies? Now, I've even had 5-year-olds tell me on iPads, on iPhones, YouTube always comes up. I had a little girl recently put up a hand and said, Miss, she's 5, right? I said, yeah. She said, on Snapchat. I've gone, sweetie, you're 5. How do you know about Snapchat? Oh, because my 14-year-old sister's using it. Obviously for sexting, because how did she know it was about private pictures or private movies? So we can talk to kids about pornography without ever using those words. And I say that, Mr. Bean's gone from being a public movie, so that's the sign for public, and then the sign for private is your hand in front of your mouth, because your mouth is a private part, and sometimes what you say can be private. And the kids really understand this. So go through and you'll be surprised how, they never say magazines or calendars, because that's so last century, but they'll all know the technology, and you'll be really surprised at how much children know about this. I've been in schools where kids have, after doing this, have come up and said how they've seen pornography on YouTube and hadn't told an adult because they didn't know, how to use it. So I'll do another video later showing you how I talked about when I'm explaining pornography in depth to children, what to do about it. That's usually part of the public and private lesson, so I'll incorporate that in another lesson another time. But then what we do is, once we've had the big talk about pornography as well as early warning signs, and the movie stopped, on a big, I've had a banner printed with an outline of a child on. Now, if you don't have anything like that, then butcher's paper, when you trace around a child, is just as good. So then you'll go through and you'll brainstorm butterflies in the tummy, their heart racing, their legs feel like jelly, all of those different early warning signs. So I hope you found this useful. Please leave some comments below. This is on YouTube, so I intend to do more stuff like this for teachers and educators. So if you'd like to keep up to date, there's a little subscribe button, so press on the bell and it'll alert you to any time I've put on new YouTube clips. Please share this with everybody you know, because early warning signs is a really good baseline for teaching protective behaviours, because it gives kids, if you get these body signals, if you feel unsafe, you need to go and tell an adult about it, and you need to keep on telling until those early warning signs go away. So it's the foundation that we need to help the children understand. So I hope you found it useful. Please subscribe, please share, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.